Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy. But the first time somebody told me that, I don't know, I thought they were bullshitting me, so boom, I showed them. The thing is, okay, he was right. And then I started seeing it everywhere I looked. Everywhere I looked, all these fucking pricks. Everywhere I looked, doing the exact same fucking thing. Over and over and over and over and over again. Thinking, this time is gonna be different. No, please. This time is gonna be different. I'm sorry. I don't like the way you are looking at it. Okay? You have a fucking problem in your head. Do you think I'm bullshitting you? Do you think I'm lying? Fuck you! Okay? Fuck you! It's okay, man. I'm gonna chill, hermano. I'm gonna chill. The thing is, alright? The thing is, I killed you once already. And it's not like I am fucking crazy. It's okay. It's like water under the bridge. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, fuck you!
Hello, it's me, Voda, and you want to learn how to play Yasuo. I'm honestly surprised you don't have an anime profile picture or a name resembling something similar to X Crimson Edge of Twilight X. Alas, here we are, making a Yasuo video. So let's get into it. Yasuo has been a really consistent champion for years, and really is one of the only older champions who has never been extensively tweaked in some capacity. Over a plethora of patches, Yasuo has really only received a few minor buffs or nerfs depending primarily on his presence as a mid laner. And throughout all of these patches, Yasuo has always sat around a 48 to 49% win rate, with the understanding from many players that his win rate may suffer as a consequence to his high skill ceiling, which even I can acknowledge, even though a large population of Yasuo players are actually failed or rejected synthetic organisms posing as humans in order to fit into our society. This also explains the incredibly high amount of mental illness present within the Yasuo community. But that's enough bullying. Riot already hates you guys enough, absolutely bludgeoning your beloved Winboy in patch 10.12. Now, despite the fact that Yasuo's win rate and pick rate are plummeting this patch, he still is and realistically has always been a good champion. Taking a look at the most picked champions in mid lane for this patch, we see that Yasuo has good matchups into almost all the top 10. There isn't really any issue with picking Yasuo mid lane or bot right now, besides the fact that, like I said earlier, he's a little weaker this patch, and also needing to supplement the missing AP elsewhere, like top or jungle, if you decide to play him mid. But of course that stands true for all AD mid laners. I suppose I should touch on the stigma of playing Yasuo, that all Yasuo players are feeders and ragers. I won't say that's true, but what I will say is that the champion itself encourages ape brain maneuvers. The rush of dopamine you get from comboing on this champion is the equivalent of overdosing on ketamine and being sent to the shadow realm of carnal pleasure and desire.
Nut meter. Pff, off the chain right now.
Your heart starts beating hard, your palms can barely grip your mouse because they're so fucking sweaty. You feel like you can win any fight you want. But then, you snap out of your drug-induced coma only to realize you're 0-5, 2 items down, and your surrender vote just got passed. Honestly, other than that, I don't really have much to say in terms of Yasuo's position in the current patch. It's pretty consistent. So let's get right into how to play him. For starters, let's take a look at Yasuo's base attributes. Yasuo is a full AD champion who relies on the power of his passive to deal critical damage to his enemies. He is considered a skirmisher and excels at prolonged 1v1s or big team fights. Yasuo does not use mana and instead uses a resource called Flow to grant him additional effects. Those effects manifest in the form of his passive ability, Way of the Wanderer. Like I mentioned previously, Yasuo is all about critical strikes, and his passive helps him do that. Whenever you build a crit chance item, your percentage is doubled. For example, if you purchase an item with 25% crit chance, you will end up having 50% total. However, to somewhat balance this effect out, Yasuo's crits only deal 80% bonus physical damage. The second part to his passive is Flow. When Yasuo moves around, he gathers Flow, which eventually turns itself into a shield. This shield will activate whenever Yasuo takes damage. His Q is Steel Tempest. Yasuo thrusts his blade forward in the direction of your cursor, dealing physical damage and also applying on-hit effects like Wit's End. Steel Tempest can also critical strike. After hitting anything with your Q 2 times, you are granted Whirlwind, empowering your Q with a much longer range ability that can now knock up enemies. This is Yasuo's primary way to start fights, and you should get used to the Whirlwind speed and total distance if you want to become a Yasuo god. His W is Wind Wall. When cast, Yasuo throws up a wall in front of him that blocks all hostile projectiles except for turret shots. There are also a few exceptions to what can and cannot be blocked by the wall. For example, Ashe ult can be blocked, all of Ezreal's projectiles can be blocked, Misfortune's ult can be stopped, but Lux ult cannot. And don't you ever forget that.
像我每天都在制作视频博客。
Yasuo's E is Sweeping Blade. When you press E on minions or monsters, you dash through them, dealing a small amount of magic damage. This magic damage stacks up to a maximum of plus 50%. In addition to this effect, if you Q while in an E dash, you will cause Steel Tempest to create a circular radius rather than the usual line. Your E is what separates good Yasuo players from bad ones. You should be using this ability strategically to place yourself advantageously in your lane or to snake away from combat. And lastly, let's have a look at Yasuo's ultimate ability, Last Breath, the dream state-inducing ability. Whenever a target is knocked up, Yasuo can activate this ability to blink behind the target, dealing physical damage and empowering his critical strikes with armor penetration for a short time. This is why your Q Whirlwind is so important. If you don't have someone on your team to engage with a knockup, you will have to be the one to get good knockups for your ult. So then, let's also take a look at some very basic combos to get you started on your way to flaming your team in ult chat. Now, Yasuo isn't as complex as some other characters when it comes to combos. For the most part, in lane, you'll be using your E to move around and set up Qs and auto attacks on the enemy laner. However, there is one combo all Yasuos should know. The Forbidden Beyblade technique. The combo, in theory, is very simple. Build up your Whirlwind with your Q, slide onto an enemy with E, while casting your circular Q, and then flash. Once an enemy is knocked up, you have a small amount of time to squeeze in an auto attack, and then press your ult, at which point the combo is finished. Once you come down from your ult, you can get off some more auto attacks and a Q. This will require a lot of practice. It's really hard to do, and it looks way easier than it actually is. But that's just because Yasuo's kit feels so good to use. And as a result, everything looks really easy and clean, when in reality the simplest of combos are very mechanically intense. So if you decide to pick up and learn Yasuo, just be careful. This character is a crack addiction and you will fall into homelessness shortly after becoming addicted. But anyway, that's all for me. Hopefully you enjoyed the video or learned something relevant. Take a look at the other content on my channel if you're curious. I promise you won't be disappointed. And if you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe and join the cult. Before I go though, I wanted to thank everybody who's been participating in the channel, all my new subscribers, all my new commenters. I really appreciate you interacting with the content, so from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Seriously, I mean it. And, as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.